I love this. There's a article, guys, in the Athletic. Reasons for all 30 Major League Baseball teams to be optimistic, pessimistic, based on early season returns. So this was an article by Jim Bowden. We appreciate him, obviously on the Foul Territory family as well. So we picked a few of the teams, guys. Braves, Mets, who else? Phillies, Cubs, Dodgers, Red Sox. All right. So here we have it. So Mets, the reason to be optimistic, slow start. Their lineup looks like it could get back to its lethal form 2 years ago. And pessimistic, the losses of Max Fried and Charlie Morton and free agency combined with the early surgery from Lopez has left Braves with several reasons or several rotation questions. Do you agree with that? By the way, Cam's Tigers are on here too on this list. So do you agree with that in terms of the Braves, Cam?
I'm sorry, Alana. I didn't hear that last part.
Do you agree that the best, that the Braves optimistic slow start, their lineup looks like it could get back to its lethal form from 2 years ago?
Well, again, this is my question. We saw this when Acuna first came back from his first ACL. It took him a second. It took him a whole year, and the following years when he put up that incredible MVP season. So I still worry about Ronald Acuña. I still think he is the heartbeat. I still think he is the catalyst. If they can get him back to just an all-star level, Ronald Acuña, with just, I know the tweet doesn't help, doesn't look great when he's calling out Kelnick and things like that. But I think if you can get him back, Austin Riley, I don't know if they can be as formidable as that year. I think they did some extremely special things from a record standpoint. But I think they can be extremely competitive. But to that level, no, I don't think so. And if I'm not mistaken, was Freddie on that team we talking about? Or was Olsen still there?
No,
What
no.
year?
The year that they were legit, no. Freddie was
Like
gone
it
already.
was okay.
They won
Yeah,
the
they led it.
they won the
Runs,
World Series.
RBIs. It was
Yeah, they won the World Series, and then like the 23 is when they had like 9 guys go to the start in the All-Star game. Like all 9 guys. It was the Braves. It
Yeah,
was the Braves game.
Jock was wearing the pearls, and
They were
Yes.
it,
feeling
it
it.
was it was a lot. It was a lot of magic. It was a lot of magic. Like like when things happen, years like that, there's a lot of magic going on. Not They do a great job, right? Locking guys up, signing guys, but I just still think in the totality, the pitching, I just don't think they can get it done, and I don't think the offense is the same.
Eric, let's talk about your Phils for a second. What's the biggest reason for optimism when you think about the Phillies, and what concerns you the most about the Fightins?
I mean, it's two things, and both involve pitching. Yes, you're going to talk about in playoffs, this team strikes out too much. Yes, they're not hitting against starting pitching to start this season. Hitters can make adjustments like that. You don't pick up a front of the line rotation guy in the offseason very often. And they did that. That's the optimistic part for me is Jesus Luzardo has looked everything of what they wanted when they went out to get him. People forget at this point in the year, too, the Phillies, after that, went after Kyle Tucker, too. They fell short. They were looking to make that move that the Cubs clearly have made that's been awesome. So the Phillies aren't done. Dave Dombrowski is not done. And he can't be done because the bullpen right now is horrendous. Matt Strahm isn't having the year that he had last year, which was a historic year with historic runs. He'll be fine. Jose Alvarado, he's got a little uptick in his velo, and he's throwing strikes. Ever since spring training, I think in spring training he had like 7 innings, struck out 20 guys. He's been taking that into the season. He's been elite. You can't do it with 2 guys. Dave Dombrowski will not stand around and allow a guy like Jordan Romano to continue to be healthy on the roster without trying to figure something out. You see it out there. Jordan looks frustrated. He looks confused. I see them probably being able to figure out a way to get him back to some type of level of success because I think he's got like a 13 ERA right now. And then when that happens, you're pushing everybody else into situations that they're not used to. Orion Kerkering will step up. So I think they have the core pieces. They're just struggling right now. It's not going to be a complete overhaul, trade 4 of the guys out of the bullpen. No, that's not going to happen. Dave Dombrowski will find guys. Shocking news, Lehigh Valley, their AAA team, actually has the lowest bullpen ERA in all of AAA going into last night's game. So that's a cool thing. Not saying the answers are in AAA, but there's probably some answers.
I do agree with what you said right off the top, that Dave Dombrowski will do whatever he needs to do to figure this out. That's one guy I've always had a ton of faith in when it comes to front office moves and getting what he needs to do. Let me ask you this, Cameron Maben, in terms of first world problems, look no further, my friend, than the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jim Bowden saying this is the optimism. They have the best and deepest starting rotation in the sport when healthy. They have 3 impact closers. The top 3 batters in their order are future Hall of Famers, and their lineup is as deep as the rotation. The pessimism, the Dodgers continue to deal with rotation injuries, big and small, from Snell to Tyler Gonsolin, who's coming back, Kirsch is coming back, and Tyler Glasnow has cramps. Drink some pickled juice. I mean, honestly, like nobody feels sorry, Cam, for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Nobody.
Well, not only do I feel sorry, nor do I sit here and worry, Alana, when you talk about all of that depth, right? That's why, and this is why they went out and did what they did this offseason. Everybody was in an uproar. Well, they're adding this guy and they're adding that guy. Well, one thing the Dodgers continue to do is stay ahead of the curve. Well, guess what? Sometimes you can't fix every injury, right? Sometimes you don't know how to put your pulse on what is the reason behind it. So what should we do? Let's just go load up, right? This is a part of being smarter and ahead of everybody else. At the end of the day, we all know, and you know best, Alana, the Dodgers are looking towards September. We know when it comes down to it, when it comes down to stretch, and we saw it last year, they're going to make that run. Guys are going to come back when they need to be back. And what people don't know, too, when I came into the game, it was a lot of, hey, can you play through that? Can you stomach it? Can you get through it? Well, now what we don't even realize, sometimes when guys go in and say, hey, I got something. Take a day. Matter of fact, we got more guys. Matter of fact, let's see what he can do. Let's get him some at-bats, but let's get him some innings. And so there are situations where guys say, take a day, take your 10, go figure it out, go get healthy. So the Dodgers, there's nothing to worry about. They went out and made these moves to be in the situation they're in. They're going to figure it out. It's April. I don't stress at all when it comes to the Dodgers.
Kratz, do you like spending an hour on grocery shopping?
Nope. Speed up the process, please.
Introducing Hungry Root to the FT fam.
Now we can all be bougie with our own personal shopper to handle the food shopping, including recs based on what you're looking to put in your body.
I stack my Hungry Root box with items like gluten-free, dairy-free blueberry waffles for breakfast, shrimp veggie bowls for lunch, and a little filet mignon with potatoes and broccolini for dinner.
You can also say just, hey, Hungry Root, I eat paleo, or I'm vegetarian, and they load up your cart with personalized recommendations.
And those recs keep evolving as they learn about what you're into. Also, no BS, as in no artificial sweeteners or preservatives in any of Hungry Root's food. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as FT does. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/FT and use code FT. That's hungryroot.com/FT, code FT to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life.
Somebody is salty that he had to play through some pain. Pain. All right, AJ, when you look at the Eric, when you look at the Boston Red Sox, is the issue that Devers is having offensively right now, is that enough of an issue of concern as far as the pessimism is concerned? Or are we looking at it too much? Is it too much of a big deal for us?
I mean, it's a big deal, but the pessimism, I think that's optimism. Rafi Devers is going to be fine. And the best part may be the fact that the first baseman, Triston Casas, is also struggling. So I'm not saying you're moving Devers to first. I'm not saying he's going to be more successful because he's on his feet playing and not sitting on the couch or taking a million swings in the cage trying to get up for his 4 or 5 at-bats. But you know what? To me, if someone else was struggling and you had to replace him, you would have an issue. Triston Casas is struggling. It is not going well for him right now. I think he had back-to-back games with home runs, but he still only has 3 on the year. You can't have that kind of production from that position if you have budding prospects in the minor leagues who are absolutely smashing the ball. Anthony's down there smashing it, and he wants to be up in the big leagues. This team wants guys who are able to contribute right away, and he's one of those. To me, that's you look at Triston Casas and you say, Is he going to turn this around? You look at Rafi Devers, he's going to turn it around. And that's only because of track record. That's it. Not saying Triston can't. It's just a question of is he? And this team wants to win now based on the fact that they went out and got Crochet, extended them. They went out and got Alex Bregman. They feel their window is now, and they're going to go after it, and they're not going to stand for dudes hitting 170 playing first base.
Yeah, Jim Bowden said that Triston Casas at first base was a nightmare, but this is a team, Cam Maben, that strikes out too much. They are the league leader in errors. But let's talk about the Metropolitans, a team that just had a 7-0 homestand, including a sweep of Eric's Philadelphia Phillies. The Optimism, the Mets have the best record in baseball. They lead the majors with a team ERA of 2.34. Pessimism, the bottom half of the Mets lineup is showing signs of underachievement as third baseman Mark Vientos is off to a slow start. What is your perception of the Mets? Should we be worried, or is this team better than we thought?
I think the rotation is much better than we thought. But for me, I think it starts with the real captain, the true captain. And it's not the guy that signed for $800 million. When I sit back and I turn when I sit back and I turn the TV on and I flip the Mets game on, Francisco Lindor has an energy that comes through the television, right? And I was fortunate enough and lucky enough to play with him and share a clubhouse with him and pick his brain. But when I look at all the noise around Juan Soto, right? Does he miss New York? And I was hitting behind Judge, or I was hitting in front of Judge, and this and that, and the money and the struggles. Francisco Lindor continues to be a quiet catalyst, right? The guy that just shows up super fresh. I won't say he's in his work clothes or his clothes are extremely, fire and clean and high end, but he shows up with his work tail on and his high end designer clothes, and he continues to just lead that squad, right? You talk about Carlos Mendoza. He's leading that squad, understanding who he needs to lean on to get these guys where they want to go. And every single night, whether it's defensively, whether it's base running, whether it's offensively, Frankie Lindor is the heartbeat and the soul of the New York Mets. And as I continue to watch him, I'll be the guy that says he's extremely underappreciated. And maybe it's because he's playing for the Mets and the Mets fans are up and down and wishy-washy as they come. But that guy deserves his flowers for being a consummate professional and the ultimate leader when you talk about the Mets.
Yeah, we had Carlos Mendoza on the show yesterday here on Foul Territory talking about what you were talking about with Juan Soto in the lineup. He's like, listen, he was just answering a question, but in New York, it's going to be a headline. Kratz, do you suppose with the Mets situation, the rotation and the way that Pete Alonso is playing, are they the NL East favorites?
I have to say they're not, just because Mets fans really don't like me when I talk about the Mets, because I called them a third-place team before, and they have proven me wrong. This team has played together. Are they the NL East favorites? No, I don't think so. Is this pitching staff a lot better than I thought? Absolutely. What is going to be the anchor of this pitching staff? Are you going to get 30 starts out of Kodai Senga? Are you going to get a half a whip, 0.05 whip from Max Kranick the whole season? Probably not. So where is that extra depth going to come from? Vientos is going to pop up. He's going to improve. They're improving here. To me, this next 2 weeks is huge for the Mets because they're getting back the guy that I think is one of the leaders on the field also, not Lindor-esque, but Francisco Alvarez behind the dish. Luis Torrens did an amazing job of leading this staff. Can they transition? Because every catcher calls a little bit of a different game, but can they transition to Francisco Alvarez back behind the dish? Because that guy, to me, marked the change because he was hurt early in the season last year when they were struggling, marked the change when this team flipped and started to win. So if they can continue to win with him, ask me in a few weeks if I think they're going to win the division. I'll probably say yes. Right now, I still think it's the Phillies division to win.
Shocking, and you call me a homer. Cameron Maben with the Detroit Tigers, your ball club. The pessimism, according to Jim Bowden, the lack of lineup depth is glaring, and the Tigers will only go as far as their offense. The optimistic choices for Jim, the Tigers are the only team with 4 starting pitchers who have pitched at least 20 innings and posted ERAs under 2.90. Do you like this club? Yes or no? Of course, you have to say yes because you're a homer too when it comes to that. But is there enough?
Of course, I have to say yes, right? And you spoke on it, and Jim spoke on it. It's offensively, it's the middle of the pack. Batting average 10th, runs 11th, home runs 16th, on base percentage 11th, slugging 18th. But it's the ERA, the homers allowed, the WHIP, where they're third, fifth. Like those are spots where you win ball games, and that's been their MO. Even going back to last year, the second half of their success came because AJ Hinch, who is maybe the magician of matchups when he talked about setting guys up for success, whether it's a guy coming out of the bullpen, whether it's Andy Ibanez coming in to face a lefty, Kerry Carpenter coming in to get a righty. AJ Hinch does a better job than anybody outside of maybe Alex Cora in setting his guys up for success, right? Understanding matchups, innings before they come, outs before they come. And when I see that, Jim Bowden is definitely right. The offense is an issue. But the thing about AJ, Alana, is he gets his guys to start in their roles. AJ is one of the best communicators that I've ever been around. And what he's going to do is he's going to go, hey, Andy Ibanez, you do a great job of seeing pitches, controlling the zone, getting hits, starring that. Hey, Riley Green, you do a great job of using the whole field. Get back to that. And what I do love is they found a way to insert Javi Baez now. What people don't know about Javi, and I was his teammate, because I was a lot of guys' teammates, playing for so many different teams. Javi Baez came up a center fielder, and I remember shagging with him in the outfield and him telling me, I'm like, what are you doing out here? He's like, bro, I was a center fielder before I was a shortstop, where usually it's the opposite way around, where guys go from infield to outfield. He went from the outfield to the infield. So the little moves, the little adjustments, being able to, maneuver chess pieces as good as anybody, I believe in the Tigers. And then, once again, Alana, if you talk about any Central, NL, AL, it's always up for grabs. So I love the Tigers' chances when we talk about what they have to compete with. It's just the Royals for me right now. So I like where they are.
Yeah, it's not going to be the Twins.
Cam,
Exactly.
I want you to look at your right shoulder. I want you to look at your right shoulder just like this, okay? Just because Alana called you and I both a homer, okay? We're both looking at the person who has a Dodgers show. We don't have a Phillies show. We don't have a Tigers show. This is a baseball show. Nope, that's your left shoulder. That's your left shoulder. You got to look at your right shoulder. Yep.
That one.
Got a Dodgers show. That is it should be called Homer territory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't hate us because you ain't us, okay? They ain't not like us. They
Spoken
ain't
like
us.
a Dodger, too. Spoken like a Dodger.
That's
Don't hate us
right.
because
Yep.
you ain't us.
We do,
Yeah.
in fact,
She's
have
not
those
talking about the
shows.
Rockies.
We do, in fact, have those shows. You just don't happen to be the host of them. We do have a
She
Phillies
ain't
series,
talking
right?
about the
We do have a
Rockies.
No, because the Rockies are
Unbelievable.
garbage. The Rockies are garbage, and the Dodgers treated me like family. So
That's right.
hey, that's right. I got 3 rings. It's not my fault. Anyway, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hey everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.